Drinking alcohol makes your skin age faster.
Yes.
What is a simple AM and PM routine for men and women?
It doesn't have to be, 10 step, you're following a big skincare routine, doesn't matter. Even if you're doing a basic cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, that is enough.
Stress can cause acne.
Yes.
Is sunscreen safe? Do I need to apply it just when I'm outside? What is the best practice and what is the clinical guideline?
Sunscreens are very safe. Even the blue light from the laptop, the LED light, tube light, desktop light, these blue light, over time they increase your aging process and they increase dullness and pigmentation of face.
Pollution speeds up skin aging.
Obviously, yes.
So which home remedies actually work and what have you seen in your practice or what do you advise?
I don't believe in home remedies because I feel I've seen lots of irritant contact reaction. Even to turmeric I have seen irritant contact reactions.
How safe are these anti-aging treatments or aesthetic treatments and who should really opt for these? Hello everyone, this is Khushbu Agarwal, founder at Xyla Health, and once again a very warm welcome on Conversations with Xyla. Today we bring to you our 13th episode on a very critical topic, face it, the signs of skin health. With all the podcasts we've been doing, we've got a number of queries and requests to talk about skin health, and we've brought to you today none other than Dr. Gargi Taneja, the very fabulous and beautiful dermatologist based out of Gurgaon who's taken care of more than 30,000 patients in the last 1 decade of her career. Thank you, Dr. Gargi, for joining us today.
Thank you for calling me here.
So, Dr. Gargi Taneja is an MD in dermatology from the prestigious college AIMS and has done her MBBS from Lady Hardinge College, New Delhi. She's also the founder and medical director of Dr. Gargi's Clinic on Golf Course Road, Gurgaon. She has a decade of experience in treating a wide range of skin and hair concerns such as acne, scars, pigmentation, hair loss, and also deals with advanced treatments such as laser therapies. Dr. Taneja has clinical precision and ensures that patient safety is put at utmost care. Again, Dr. Gargi, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you today on this very important topic of skin health.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So as we start, we will begin with a ritual of a rapid fire round, Dr. Gargi, wherein I'll pose some questions and would love to hear a yes or a no from you so that our audience can get the most in the first segment itself. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. So the first question is, stress can cause acne.
Yes.
Sunscreen is only needed when stepping outside.
No.
Men don't need a skincare routine.
No. A big no.
I like that. One can reverse sun damage to the skin.
Yes.
Great. Gut health is related to skin health.
Partly yes.
Okay. Pollution speeds up skin aging.
Obviously yes.
Sleep discipline impacts skin health.
It does, yes.
Eating too much junk food can trigger skin issues.
True. Yes.
Drinking alcohol makes your skin age faster.
Yes. You're asking all yes.
I'm thinking so. Blue light damages the skin.
Yes.
Steroidal treatments should always be avoided.
No.
We had a no in the end. Thank you so much, Dr. Gargi. A lot of myths busted there, and I think a lot of things we'll cover as we go along. I'll request our amazing audience here to put in questions in the chat section. We'll request Dr. Gargi to keep taking them as we go along. Once again, thank you so much for joining Conversations with Xyla, and we are very excited to host you today. So moving on to the next segment, Dr. Gargi, we'll talk about skin health and how it has transformed over the decades and ages. And why have modern lifestyles really gotten us to a level where skin health has become a bigger issue? What, according to you, is the reason?
So I think over decades, the lifestyle has changed. We are going into a sedentary lifestyle. Work, home, lack of exercises, lack of adequate sleep cycle, proper nutrition is not there. We do not follow a balanced diet. So everything, like it's the combined holistic approach, but yeah, it does affect your skin. And over time, I have seen there are a lot of changes in the skin happening, more aging, faster aging, then there is skill dullness which is coming up. So all these changes are because of our lifestyle.
Got it. And how do pollution or stress lead to some of these skin issues, especially allergies, which have become very common in cities now?
Right. So because of increase in pollution level, toxic substances level in the environment, and our less of exposure, in the sense more of exposure to the pollutant, then this has resulted in increased chances of allergies, asthmas. Not only nasal allergies, skin allergies are also flaring. And it is not only the pollutants exposure, but there are immune changes also which have occurred, which have triggered these allergies.
Okay, and just segmenting into that. So, talking about autoimmune diseases, Dr. Gargi, is that also linked to modern lifestyle, or why do we see a rampant increase in that, or is it just more diagnosis is happening today?
I think everything. First of all, people used to ignore their things. Obviously, there were diseases, autoimmune diseases were also there, but they were being ignored. Nowadays, they are taken up immediately. But because the lifestyle has changed, lots of stress on us, lack of, again, diet, stressful lifestyle, lack of sleep, poor exercise, this have all contributed. There is some genetic predisposition, but yes, our lifestyle has increased the risk of autoimmune diseases, of skin as well as the other body parts also.
Great. So that means there is a problem, and there is an elephant in the room to be addressed. So let's start jumping into some of the ideas in solutioning, Dr. Gargi. And one key question, which we keep getting from people is skincare routines, right? Because that is more the preventive side, and we'll talk about more of the treatment side as well later. But to again address the most critical question, what is a simple AM and PM routine for men and women? We could first say for age under 30.
Okay. So I feel everyone should follow a skincare routine. And it doesn't have to be, 10 step, you're following a big skincare routine, doesn't matter. Even if you're doing a basic cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, that is enough. Like morning, cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, at night, cleanser, moisturizer. Even if you are able to do that, that's good enough. But what I'll recommend is to add a serum in them. Suppose in morning you are putting a cleanser, and cleanser should be according to your skin. For example, you have a dry skin, then according to that you have a oily, acne prone skin, uske hisab se you need to have a cleanser. Better to visit a dermatologist so that he or she can make a personalized plan according to your skin type. But what I would suggest in minimum skincare routine is add a serum in morning, add one serum at night, and keep moisturizer and sunscreen. So before moisturizer, put a serum, then moisturizer and sunscreen. At night, put serum and moisturizer again and sleep. And the serum has to be according to your concern. Suppose आपको acne है, then niacinamide serum would work very well on your skin. Salicylic acid would work very well on your skin. Suppose you have pigmentation or dullness issue, then vitamin C, niacinamide would work well on the skin. Or kojic acid, glycolic acid, which are depigmenting agent, which would brighten up your skin, would work well. So if you are facing aging issues, like if you are more than 30, then add a retinol serum to the skincare routine. So according to your concern, the serum should be added one during day, one at night if possible. And if you are not able to do that, I would suggest at least moisturizer and sunscreen is must.
Got it. Okay. And given you spoke about the skincare routine, which is, you spoke about a simple form and a little bit more complex form. Right. Is it the same for men and women, or does it differ?
It does differ, even for the cleansers, even moisturizer, because men and women have a very different skin. Men have much more thicker skin compared to women. They have lots of more collagen and elastin, lots of more oil glands compared to women. So the skincare regime, even the basic moisturizer, sunscreen and the cleansers are different for men and women, that we need to check according to the skin type and give. And the serums also, again, according to the concern they are given.
Great. So self-prescription is not something which should be practiced, and one should talk to the dermatologist with the skin concern to choose the right serum. Right. And given you emphasized upon sunscreen, Dr. Gargi, thank you for bringing that up. It's a very big question, right? Is sunscreen safe? Do I need to apply it just when I'm outside, or do I also need to apply it indoors? What is the best practice, and what is the clinical guideline?
So the clinical guideline says that though sunscreens are very safe, we need to apply a sunscreen inside also, because you must have heard blue rays coming from LED. How many, like everyone, most of people have 8 to 10 hours of laptop exposure, right? You must be having a good laptop exposure.
Yes, longer.
So longer, right. So 12 hours. So even the blue light from the laptop, the LED light, tube light, desktop light, these blue lights we have seen that over time, there are lots of studies to prove it, that over time cumulative effect. It's not one day laptop exposure, it's daily, 5 days a week laptop exposure. So over time they increase your aging process and they increase dullness and pigmentation of face. So at least once put a sunscreen before sitting in front of laptop. Put sunscreen once. Even if you're not able to do a good skincare regime, sunscreen lagao and sit in front of laptop. That will slow down your aging process.
Great. So that I think is a big myth that you've just helped us with, Dr. Gargi, because people believe when they're going swimming only then they need it, or when they're going to play outside in the sun.
Right.
You're saying that one must apply it before, once you are getting ready in the morning, you must apply sunscreen and then you wash it off in the night.
Yes.
And is there a repeat of the sunscreen which is also advised through the day?
It is advised because ideally sunscreen work for 4 to 5 hours. So generally it is advised if you can repeat it. But what I advise my patient is, if you are going out in sun, then you definitely do repeat it. But if you are inside home, at least once put a sunscreen.
Got it. Great. That is super helpful, Dr. Gargi. And the treatments you're mentioning, right? You mentioned retinol for anti-aging. You mentioned niacinamide for certain other health issues. So are these to be used long term and are they safe?
They are very safe. They can be used long term. So each serum is basically a concentrated form of an ingredient. Like suppose you have some acne on the face. So niacinamide will help you with the acne part. If you have lots of oily skin, congested skin, then salicylic acid will help you. Over long term, you will see much more effect of them compared to, 1 month usage. So yes, they can be used for long, but we can keep on changing the serum also according to the age, according to the concerns, these can be changed, but there are no as such long-term side effects.
Great. A lot of good points to be made. Hope everyone's taking notes here and keep posting your questions. We'll try to pick a few of them as we go along. So Dr. Gargi, now coming to my favorite topic, which is food and the impact of food on our human bodies.
Right.
And this is about skin, right? We'll pick the first important section here, which is on protein intake, right? So there is a lot of conversation these days, a lot of awareness, a lot of guidelines around how much protein is important for the human body, specifically for the skin.
Right.
So can you help us with the science of why protein is important? What happens if we take lesser protein specifically for the skin?
Right. So, as you know, the skin has lots of collagen and elastin in it. Our skin building blocks are collagen and elastin, which are itself a protein. So, if your diet is deficient, which most of the Indian diet is deficient. So, if your diet is deficient, it will hamper the collagen and elastin production, as well as because every day you are losing collagen. You are aging, you are losing collagen. So, we need to replenish it also. So, that's what protein will do. They'll help in repair the body, repair the skin, as well as enhance your collagen and elastin production.
Right.
So yes, we need a good protein. We need around 1 gram of protein per kg in a day. So if you are 60 kgs, you would need 60 grams of protein at least. But in India, I feel that the protein requirement is not met.
And how do we meet that then?
So if from the natural sources possible, like some animal sources, plant sources of protein, can have paneer, dal, soya bean, legumes, nuts, they are good source. But if you are not able to complete it through these natural sources, protein powders, protein drinks can be added.
And are they safe to take long term, Dr. Gargi?
They are safe, but still I would recommend to consult a nutritionist before taking it, because we need to check other parameters also, your kidney function, liver function. So without consulting, don't keep on taking it. Consult a dietitian and then go for your protein.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Gargi. And if you need guidance on that, please ping us on Xyla app and we'll help you with that consultation and support. So Dr. Gargi, on other aspects of food and nutrition, covering hydration as an example, right? Water intake. How important is that and why?
It is again important, water. So even these proteins, they require water to hold the skin. So for skin hydration, overall body hydration plus skin hydration, water is important. So we must drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water a day. And otherwise, suppose if you're drinking less water, then you'll see the sign of dehydration on the skin, chapped, dry lips, dull skin, sagging, wrinkly skin, like that.
Got it. Okay. And are there any superfoods that we must add in addition to protein and water? for our skin health?
Because superfoods are rich in antioxidants, and we have lots of oxidation processes going on in our body,
Right.
in our skin, which are causing aging also. So if we add a small amount, do not overdo it. Like if you're having 10 walnuts, some nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, just in a small quantity. Because what we have a tendency, shuru kar diya ek bar bahut sara le lenge, and over time we would stop
Right.
it, not take it. So take it in a minimal amount, which is recommended, again maybe a half teaspoon according to the which are recommended guidelines, and then I think they are
Right.
good to add on.
So some of us, get into busy routines and we're not able to manage these small mini meals, as you're
Right.
mentioning, which help us with antioxidants and
Right.
other superfoods. Are there supplements that you prescribe then, Dr. Gargi, for that support?
Yes, so because our diet is deficient in lots of micronutrients also, so these supplements do help, but again after consultation with your dermatologist or your nutritionist, then you should take.
Got it.
Especially for skin supplementation, always consult a dermatologist and then take.
Right. And now our favorite question. What foods we must avoid for good skin health?
So sugars, obviously, because sugars, they increase the oxidative process. हम antioxidants डाल रहे हैं, sugars will increase the oxidation, your aging would be faster. So sugars, avoid processed food because they have lots of PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids, very damaging to the skin and overall health. So these fried foods, oily, fried, sugary, these things you need to avoid.
Great. And what about, these packaged foods we get these days with, say, no palm oil, no sugar, but, they're coming in a packaged format, ready
Right.
to eat. What about those foods?
So no, those are also not very useful. But yeah, there are some foods like, super solid soya bean, which are light, not fried food, roasted fruit. You can have as a small snack, but do not incorporate a lot in the diet.
Got it. So what are your, most recommended fillers in the daily diet that you recommend to your patients, Dr. Gargi, to carry to office or,
Right.
have twice a day?
Right. So something like makhana I recommend, roasted chana I recommend, solid soya bean, small chunks. Popcorn if you are making it by yourself, not Act 2 one. So like that. See that these are small fillers which you can add because they won't add to the calories. They'll give you
Right.
some protein also.
Got it. Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Gargi, for covering that. And I see we've started getting some questions and we'll just try to take a few, Dr. Gargi, so, we also engage our audience well. So the first question is on, does alcohol, specifically wine, impact skin health?
It does. So the wine
I
is
think people wanted to hear no.
So though it is considered that wine is considered like something of the, best out of all,
Yeah.
but it's not so. It has to be taken in a particular quantity and try avoiding it if possible. But agar nahi kar pa rahe ho, take it in a minimum quantity. Like, 2 glasses of wine in a week, not a lot. Keep everything under control. Over nahi karna because over alcohol se bhi aging hoga. It will impact your liver, of course, and it will increase the aging process also.
Got it. We'll just take one more and I have a cue from the team. Are medicinal sunscreens better or the common ones available in the market?
So I still feel the medicated ones are better because they undergo vigorous quality checks. For OTC products, I don't feel the quality checks are that good. So I feel always a medicated sunscreen over OTC sunscreen.
Okay, got it. Great. So please consult your dermatologist for the best advice on products to use before you go and hit that pharmacy. The next important topic, Dr. Gargi, something we are all deprived in life, sleep and skin health. We'll talk
Right.
about. What is really the science behind sleep repairing our skin overnight?
So if you have a good sleep, you are sleeping adequately 7 to 8 hours, which is generally considered as adequate sleep. At this time the repair mechanism start क्योंकि body को अपना काम नहीं देखना होता, वो repair पे focus करती है. It increases the collagen production, it increases the elastin production, it repairs the wounds or whatever are there like that. So during the time, and good hormones are released during sleep. So the growth hormone, which is good for skin, is released. Blood circulation improves during sleep. So if you are suppose not having adequate sleep, you are not sleeping good, even the bad hormones like cortisol are increased, which is a steroid in the body. So this further damages your skin. So adequate sleep is very important.
Got it. So, stay away from the OTT addiction and phones at night and get some nice sleep. Let's talk about pre-sleep routines and nighttime skincare routines. So, what do you suggest to your patients, Dr. Gargi? What is a routine that they should follow so they fall asleep better and it is better for their skin?
So what I recommend is 30 minutes before, don't look at your phones before sleeping. Then always do a nighttime skincare regime. Wash your face. Acha, first remove makeup. That is very important. Most of us have a tendency, थक गए makeup के साथ ही सो गए. वो नहीं करना. It will block your oil glands. You'll get acne breakouts. And further, not good for skin to keep a overnight makeup. So first makeup remover. Then you clean your face with a gentle cleanser according to the skin type. Put a serum, maybe retinol if you are above 30s, less than 30s, vitamin C, azelaic acid, whatever recommended serum. Put your moisturizer and sleep. Always, go for a good hygienic pillowcase. If you are using a cotton one, change it every 3 to 4 days. Don't keep on using it. Otherwise, again, frictional acne or breakout can occur.
Great. And again, bringing some diversity into the conversation because we spoke about makeup, I will cover something which is more relevant for men. So men use a lot of shaving creams and foams and aftershave.
Right.
Again, do they lead to skin issues? What is recommended there, Dr. Gargi?
They do. So if you are using a shaving cream which is very harsh, creating a lot of foam, damaging your skin, it will dry out your skin, damage your skin barrier also. So use a gentle shaving cream instead. Even a gentle cleanser could work as a shaving cream. Post that, you do the shaving. Most of the men do shaving in a wrong direction. Sorry to all the men there. They always try to do it in the opposite direction. It increases the chances of ingrown hair, folliculitis.
How should it be?
It should be in the direction of hair.
Okay.
Which most of the men do like this.
Okay.
Even the ads show like this. So
Okay.
it's always in the direction of hair. The more you do it opposite, the more chances of folliculitis, ingrown hair growing. And post that, I feel instead of putting an aftershave, always put a good moisturizer so that the skin barrier is maintained.
Got it. So what are the common, I'm just curious, Dr. Gargi, you said all this. What are the most common skin issues clinically that women and men come to you with today?
So, I think few years back, 5-6 years back, most common skin issues were infections, fungal infections were there, bacterial, viral. Nowadays, the trend is changing. Eczema is coming more in, allergies incidents, as we have already discussed, because of our lifestyle, genetic history, allergies बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गए. Even for children, atopic dermatitis, allergy, eczema. So these are all more increases. Now we are going to more of allergy kind of scenario, eczema, psoriasis, skin diseases. Infections are still there, but allergy incidents बहुत बढ़ गया है.
Right. I think we made our houses cleaner, but our environment got worse.
Yeah.
And that is a direct correlation of lesser infections, but more allergies.
Yes.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Gargi. So now, we again have, I see a couple more questions on sunscreens. I think it's a hot topic we have covered. Could you elaborate a little bit more, because I see few questions on it, Dr. Gargi, on what SPF to use, right? And again, any specific guidance for Indian skin that you have?
Right. So for Indian skin, minimum SPF should be 30 plus, because 30 SPF also gives a UVB protection of 97%, provided you are applying it nicely. So 30 is good for Indian skin, but if you have a lot of sun exposure, you are traveling in sun with lots of heat coming up, or you have a pigmentation issue, जैसे झाइयाँ हो जाती है, melasma हो जाता है, तो आपको SPF 50 लगाना चाहिए. Otherwise 30 is good for most individuals.
Okay. And then why is SPF 50 being marketed more today?
So SPF 30 gives 97% UVB protection. SPF 50 gives 98% UVB protection.
That's the difference.
So
Great. So, Dr. Gargi, I wanted to cover a few more aspects on, the treatments that you do in your practice and what is usually the application or benefits of it. So, you've written about, laser treatments. You've also written about glow enhancing treatments.
Right.
How safe are these anti-aging treatments or aesthetic treatments, and who should really opt for these?
So, regarding who should opt for these, anyone can opt for these depending on the skin concerns. The treatments are very safe because they have been, they are done after a lot of research they come in. And further, if done by a expertise, obviously, you'll get the best results. So at our clinic, we do all kind of laser procedures. Laser hair reduction, if you must have heard, is one of the booming and most buzzed thing, because it does help in hair reduction and आपकी बार-बार waxing की need चली जाती है. So laser hair reduction is one one of the most popular treatment. Then there is, because of the increasing issues of dullness, we have Q-switch laser toning procedure. Again, a laser procedure which will help you brighten up your skin tone. These procedures are very safe provided they are done by an expert.
So they're clinically approved, FDA approved.
Yes, they are
procedures.
FDA approved procedures, but should be done by an expert, because there are lots of cosmetologists coming up who do not have degrees and damaging the skin and hair. So always check the degree first before going to a dermat, that he or she is a dermat, he has an MBBS or an MD degree in dermatology, because most of us in India do not even know to which doctor we are going.
No, that's a good segue actually. So how do you classify that, Dr. Gargi? For what sort of issues should you go to a GP versus a dermatologist? Because in India, you can go to a specialist directly.
Exactly.
How do you segue that?
So suppose if you have some rashes on the skin allergies, there are a lot of dermats in India. हाँ, ऐसा problem तो है नहीं कि पहले GP के पास जाना है. So if you are facing something related to skin, hair or nails, you should visit a dermatologist, because they are the most expert people there. For a GP, like if they have a MD degree in medicine, so all your other concerns, you have fever, all cough, everything, the rest of the thing. But if you have anything regarding skin, hair or nails, I think better to visit a dermatologist.
And it's possible that some of those skin issues are internal and more related to internal medicine eventually.
Right.
So then how
then
do
a
you
derma can refer, because sometimes we get blood test profile and then we find that no, they have changes in their blood because of this. So we refer it to a general practitioner.
Got it. Now covering some more segments, we spoke about young men and women, and great insights on sunscreen, AM PM routines, impact of diet and sleep. All of that, Dr. Gargi. Let's cover a segment on skin health in the kids, right? Okay. Because these days parents are quite paranoid. A lot of our audience here would have young kids, and there are, as you rightly said, eczemas, allergies, atopic dermatitis, so sudden rashes. Could you help us demystify this? So if there is a rash on the skin,
right?
What shape, color, type means what, and that will help our audience understand.
Right.
Yes.
So there are like 2,000 above skin diseases. If your child has a rash, try not to use a lot of your mind. Try going to a dermatologist, because the rashes are of 100 kinds. So better to go to a dermatologist. They will be able to check the condition and then try giving them. But as I was telling about eczema, so mostly the rashes are, red, itchy rashes. They have small bumps in them, and there's sometimes, because if it is excessive, you'll get watery discharge from them. But again, do not treat by yourself, because you will land in more harm than use. So visit your dermatologist. Even if it is a small rash, you should visit a dermatologist, and then they'll tell you if it comes back again what to do.
Okay, and how do you differentiate whether something is an allergy or an infection? Is there an easy way?
No, there's no easy way for you, because this comes after years of practice and reading lot of things. So don't differentiate by yourself. Come to the dermatologist.
But usually if there is fever, then people would prefer to also go to a GP. If there is a skin rash with fever, then what do you recommend? Dr.
I still feel go to a dermat if there is a skin rash with fever. Obviously, or you can go to a pediatrician also for a child. But I think one should refer, always.
Even for persistent rashes especially,
right?
And talking about more, people above say 40 years of age who say, for example, have diabetes. There are a lot of skin issues which happen with diabetes. Could you elaborate on that, Dr. Gargi?
So with diabetes, we have seen that people, in general also, the skin becomes more drier, more prone to infections also. You'll have more folliculitis chances. There'll be pustules which will be coming up on the body. The ulcers won't heal if your sugars are uncontrolled. So better to control the sugars. Again, the treatments are available. We need a general medicine plus a dermatologist combined so that we can help you.
Got it. So I see some more questions coming onto the chat here. We'll just try to pick them one by one, Dr. Gargi. So the first one is on Indian home remedies, because we are a country of besan ka lep and aloe vera, right? Naturally, this question. So, so which home remedies actually work, and what have you seen in your practice, or what do you advise?
I don't believe in home remedies, because I feel I've seen lots of irritant contact reaction. Even to turmeric, I have seen irritant contact reactions. लोग लगा तो आते हैं इन्फेक्शन पे टर्मरिक, बट साइड वाला पूरा इरिटेट हो जाता है. सो आई डू नॉट लाइक, आई एम नॉट मच इन फेवर ऑफ DIY hacks, because I feel they can bring more harm to you. So in some individuals they might suit well, but I have seen lot of reactions, so not much in favor.
Got it. The next one is acne a teenage problem only, or is it normal to have acne in older age?
No, it's normal. It's not normal to have a acne in older age. In the sense, up to 25, 26 years, it can be a normal. But if you're getting adult onset acne beyond 28, 30 years, then we need to rule out hormonal imbalances in the body, which are very common nowadays. We need to rule out polycystic ovarian disease so that we can balance the thing and then control your acne. But
Got
it's
it.
not a teenage problem. It can happen to adults also.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Gargi. The next one is on steroids. For certain diseases, doctors mention steroids. And, it could be for a short term or a long term. So what is your recommendation? Are they safe or not? And when are they prescribed?
So, especially for allergies and eczema, steroids are one of the things which are given either in the topical form, which you can apply, or in the oral form, depending on the severity. They are safe till the time the dermatologist is prescribing it, and they will guide you how to use it, when to use it. Do not overuse steroids by yourself, because it can result in, if you are using it without prescription for long, it can result in much more damage. So always get a prescription. Your dermatologist will advise you how long you can use it and how to use it so that it doesn't cause any harm to your skin.
Right. And Dr. Gargi, I have one question for you. So what are the things you've seen being used by people very often, or practices or common habits which impact our skin in the worst way, which we should get rid of, habits we should get rid of?
Right. So one of them is, again, the steroid use. People use it since over years on face, because when you put steroid on face, you get, your dullness decreases temporarily, pigmentation decreases, you see a good glow. So people keep on using it for years, and then we see lots of steroid damaged faces with lots of hair on the face, sun damage. So no steroid use to be done. Again, lots of DIY hacks, besan, multani mitti. एक तो oil gland block कर देते हैं, acne flare हो जाता है, and irritation on the skin. So I feel first try doing a patch test and then do something on the skin, or try not overdoing it.
Got it. Great, Dr. Gargi. We'll segment into another interesting section, which is on swimming and skin health, right? A lot of people here would be going for a swim, and the biggest worry is what happens to my hair, what happens to my skin. So what is a recommended skincare routine for swimmers?
So for swimmers, because we are going in chlorine water, there are more chances of roughness and dryness of the skin. Always moisturize your skin before.
Right.
And if you are going out in sun during, if it is an open pool, sunscreen is must before going in the pool, because sun with chlorine will increase your pigmentation and roughness also. So sunscreen must. Sunscreen, if it is a water resistant sunscreen, it stays for 2 hours. So 80 minutes is the time when the sunscreen stays. So after 80 minutes, repeat your sunscreen. That is very important. And after you are done with swimming, wash everything, remove the chlorine, put a good moisturizer on the body, and put a good conditioner on hair, because it will dry out your hair also.
That segues us into a very critical segment which we have on hair health. And believe it or not, hair fall is the number one symptom we see. One of the top 5 symptoms we see people reporting. And a lot of it is not actually just about aesthetics, but actually also clinical.
Right.
So what are the real root causes of hair fall? Why is it increasing so much? Some light there, Dr. Gargi.
So one of the common things which is increasing is telogenic effluvium, which is a diffuse hair loss. Har jagah se baal nikal rahe, bunch of hair coming out. It has multifactorial. It is multifactorial. Like you have deficiencies, vitamin D, very common deficiency in the Indian population. B12 deficiency again causes hair loss. Stress, chronic stress will result in hair loss. Our lifestyle, hair loss. So telogenic effluvium, one is increasing because of the lifestyle, deficiency, stress-related issues, and second, because of the increasing hormonal imbalances. Female pattern hair loss in women, male pattern hair loss is also increasing.
Right. And how do we deal with it? What is the guidance from a dermatologist?
So if you have telogenic effluvium, we'll get some blood tests done to see which deficiencies are there. Try managing your stress, and then we give some treatments, some lotions, medications to help you with the hair fall. There are some treatments like PRP, GFCs, which can be done on the scalp to boost your hair growth.
Right.
So always a combined approach.
But a lot of times it may be due to nutritional deficiencies.
Yeah. So telogenic effluvium is very common in India. So we first of all rule out nutrition deficiency, supplement it, add some lotions to it to boost the growth, and then
Got it. And what are the most common nutritional deficiencies you've seen, Dr. Gargi?
So vitamin D, very common in India. Vitamin B12 is also common because of the vegetarian diets that are. So I think the iron deficiency in women is most common.
And that causes hair loss.
Yeah, right.
Got it. Got it. And, I think one of the favorite topics of our audience, which will be hair care products. So what to look for in a product when you're buying, right? Because, again, there could be thousands of products and reading labels also gets complex. So is there a guideline on how to pick a product that is safe for you?
So again, the hair care products depends on what problem you have. Suppose you have a dandruff prone scalp, so you would buy a product which is anti-dandruff, which has ketoconazole, zinc pyridine into it. If you have very rough or frizzy hair, you would try using a shampoo which is sulfate paraben free, because sulfates paraben se और frizz increase होता है. Try going for a hair mask because it will smoothen out your hair. So post shampoo, try using a hair mask. And suppose if you have a very oily scalp and very sweaty, your routine is very sweaty, lots of oil, then you can use sulfate wala shampoo also. There is no problem. But according to how your workout is, do the shampooing accordingly.
Great. And the last question in this segment, Dr. Gargi, what is a recommended hair care routine?
So nothing big for hair care routine. It's according to the concern again. If you have certain concerns, then visit a dermatologist so that he or she can prescribe according to the hair fall. Otherwise, I feel do normal shampooing, conditioner according to the routine. Suppose आपको बहुत ज़्यादा workout करते हो, sweating बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, you can wash your scalp 3 to 4 times also, 5 times also, there is no problem. Otherwise, 3 times a week is generally recommended. Good shampoo, use a good hair mask or serum.
Got it. Great. So, Dr. Gargi, we'll now segment into nail health. And this is a very common issue that, again, we see. There are different white patches on the nails, or, they're brittle nails. So, what is usually the root cause of these issues?
Some deficiencies like biotin is one of the most common deficiencies which causes brittle nails. Further, we have a habit of doing hand washing a lot. So constant hand washing, use of sanitizer can damage the nails. Also, they can make them brittle. So first, ruling out deficiencies, and then there are lots of diseases also, like fungal infections in nail because of the constant water exposure, humidity there. So after ruling out the nail conditions, better to moisturize the hands because it will help with the stability also, and do not overdo hand wash because usse aapka skin barrier bhi damage hoga, nail bhi damage hoga.
Got it. And then, we are again getting some questions here, Dr. Gargi. So we'll cover a couple again. This one is on dark circles that, again, with a lot of laptop exposure, you end up having a lot of dark circles and it could be because of other factors as well. How should one manage that?
So dark circles are again because of 2 factors. One is because of the genetics. Obviously, if you have a history that everyone has a periocular pigmentation, then you have more chances. If you have hollow under eyes, then your under eyes would appear more dark because they won't reflect light. Then there are again iron deficiencies, atopic dermatitis, which is one of the most common eczema, can result in increased wrinkling and darkness of under eye. Thyroid disorders. So like that, lots of things, deficiencies we need to rule out for dark under eyes. And depending on the deficiencies or the concern, agar hollowness hai, we treat it with fillers, skin boosters. If it is pigmentation, then we treat it accordingly.
Great. The next question is on darkening of lips. Is that related to certain underlying conditions?
Yeah, that is also related. If you have, suppose, chronic lip allergy, aapka bar lips dry or it's becoming flaky, then there are more chances of getting lip pigmentation. If you're smoking a lot, will result in lip melanosis. Certain toothpaste can also result in lip pigmentation. Even certain lipstick which have lots of pigment in them, because they will penetrate directly into the skin, can result in lip pigmentation.
Got it. Great. Dr. Gargi, a lot of people these days report dry skin, right? Of course, you mentioned dehydration could be one factor, but are there other issues to be checked clinically if someone is facing constant dry skin issue?
Yes, we need to check how is the skincare routine also, whether the person is over exfoliating, because people have a tendency of using scrub, basin, lots of DIY hacks. This results in more damage to the skin barrier. Its protection is lost. You are more prone to dryness, flakiness, eczema, allergy. So no over exfoliation also for the skin.
Right. So you believe that, the simple routine you mentioned is the best, and there's no point of using these naturally occurring ingredients because you don't know if there could be a side effect
Right.
or an allergy.
Right.
And Dr. Gargi, I would love to end this podcast by understanding what is your skincare routine. I see radiating skin there. So what do you follow in your day-to-day?
So I follow a basic AM/PM skincare routine. I use a vitamin C serum in morning and a retinol at night. In between, I keep on adding some procedures, like I take skin boosters, I take toning sessions to keep it brighten. And further, it's not only about the skincare routine. I also try to maintain a very balanced diet and a workout routine so that, it's about the holistic approach.
And some hints there on your diet and exercise routine.
So I try to give it 30-40 minutes of exercise at least 5 days a week, which includes both cardio plus muscle training. And rest, the diet, I follow a dietitian. So my diet is according to the dietitian so that it's balanced. It has everything, carbs, proteins and fats in a particular quantity.
That's an ideal routine, Dr. Gargi. We are so inspired today, and thank you so much for sharing the science, for sharing
Thank you.
very important routines for us to follow. For our audience there, thank you so much for being so engaging. I hope you loved this podcast, and thank you, Dr. Gargi, for sharing these
Thank
wonderful
you.
insights through your years of experience.
Thank
So
you.
we'll meet again soon. We will see you on the 14th episode of Conversations with Zyla, and we will share all the details. Until then, bye-bye, take care, good night.